Hi guys, I wanted to take a little time to talk you through your annotated map assignment. This is due at the end of the Rugged Americans module, which is module 1 for our class. And for this assignment, you will click on this Google Slides presentation and it will first prompt you to make a copy that will save directly to your student Google Drive. So it will auto save for you. You don't have to worry about forgetting to save things. And if you lose it or you can't find it, just go back to your student Google Drive and it will be there waiting for you. So, one of the major themes that's found in literature in our Rugged Americans module is the theme of overcoming hardships. What this means is facing and learning to deal with difficult situations. I'm sure you guys can think back on the different texts that we've read in the Rugged Americans module, and you can maybe think of a few different stories that featured this theme, people who faced difficult situations and overcame them. So for this assignment, you are going to create an annotated map that expresses the relationship between this theme of overcoming hardships in America's earliest literature. So an annotated map really is just a fancy name for a map that has different quotes on it. So what you're going to do for this assignment is you're going to choose any 3 quotes from any of the texts that were featured in the Rugged Americans module that you think represent this theme. So maybe think of a couple of different stories, 2 or 3 different stories that you read in the Rugged Americans module, and choose 3 quotes from those stories. It doesn't have to be the whole story, just a little blurb, just a paragraph of that text that you think shows the character or the group of people who overcame hardships. 3 quotes. So, after you have chosen your quotes, you are going to go to slide 2 here, which just looks like a map. That's all it is. And you are going to place those quotes on the map. And I want you guys to really be strategic about where you put those quotes. You might choose a location that represents your quote based on the setting. Like if you choose a quote from Native American literature, you might try to find like the general area where you think that tribe lived. Or if you're maybe choosing a quote from John Smith, you might do something maybe in like the Virginia area because his text was the general history of Virginia. So I think that would make sense. And to do that, you guys are going to go up here to the insert tool. Scroll down to text box and you'll get kind of a different looking cursor for your mouse. It'll kind of change to this like cross T-shape thing. And you can create a text box there as big as you want. It can be small, it can be big, whatever. And you're just going to copy and paste your quote here. All right. That's all you're going to do. Copy and paste your quote. I'm having some text issues here. All right, there we go. So after you have copied and pasted your quote, you also want to be sure and name the author and title of the text. That's going to help me. Okay. Now, if you want to get super fancy with your quote, if you, like want to change the font to something that to a different font that you like. Maybe Arial isn't your fancy, but Tahoma is or Calibria is. Go for it, but make sure it's readable. And something else that might help, kind of depending on your placement of your quote, is to go up here to fill color. And I would maybe go with white here, but that's going to change the background of your text box to a specific solid color. And that is easier to read, I think. So again, once you've copied and pasted your quote into a text box, you're just going to manipulate it on the map. You can move it around based on where you think, what location you think best represents this quote. Okay? So the very last thing you're going to do after you have chosen and placed your 3 quotes on your map, you're going to go to slide 3, and you're just going to write 1 paragraph explaining your selections. So some things you might consider discussing in your paragraph are how your selections support the theme. You might think about the hardships that author or that group of individuals faced. You might think about the historical context. So what was happening in history at the time that this text was written? You might think about the other relevant details, things that relate to this text that will support your selections. So just kind of be specific in explaining why you chose those quotes and why you think those quotes support the theme of overcoming hardships. And you're going to write your explanation here in this text box. All right, guys, that's all you have to do for this assignment. When you are finished with it, go up to the share button and make sure that your share settings are set to services.live. Mine currently are, but sometimes this will say like restricted. And if it's restricted, I can't view your assignment. So make sure that your share settings are set to services.live. Okay. And then you can upload your assignment when you are finished.